Hey everybody, David here, along with David Lynch on this beautiful Thursday morning. April
It's not that
6th,
beautiful over here.
2023. Our studio audience is here in studio, and David is joining us live via satellite. Today, we've got some tech news to talk about, but not just tech, because today is the first day of the Masters. So we're going to throw a poll in the chat. Are you watching the Masters today? And who do you think is going to win? David, do you have any predictions?
Well, I was going to say Tiger's going to win, but he's already one over par. Not looking great out of the gate for Tiger.
Not great out of the gate, but that's not everything. There was an amateur this morning who hopped out to an early 2 under par lead, which was amazing, but not sustainable for an amateur. David, if you had to play Augusta National, what do you think you would shoot on this course? Shooting from the pro tees in the pro conditions.
It's probably 200, I would guess.
That's actually pretty. That's what I was going to say for myself too. A lot of people think they would do better than they actually would, but I'd be hitting the ball off the green. You know, if you had to putt out on Augusta, I'd be 5-putting. Forget it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
hopefully we've got some golfers.
200 gives you what, 11 strokes per hole. So, I mean, I think that's manageable.
Yeah, maybe. John Stump says watching golf is like watching paint dry. Well, it's a good thing for you, John, that we're not going to talk about golf all day long. Hi from T. Alpazlen. Nice to see you. Rick, hello from Sydney, Australia. Hello, Rick. Glad you're here. Good morning from Vegas, Apuz. Thank you for joining us again. We've got Axe0893. Hello. 1111 reminded us of the time. We were a little bit behind this morning, and it was my fault because I wasn't ready with the thumbnail. But thank God golfing is boring. Not a lot of golf fans today. But why? Because they're all watching the Masters. They're all goofing off at work, streaming it live.
Ever since Tiger sort of lost his... Ever since Tiger kind of fell off a cliff, I feel like golf hasn't been as popular.
It's true, but they're creating some drama with the new golf controversy with the Saudi golf, the Live Golf versus the PGA Tour. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Apple and tech products because when it comes down to it, that's what we talk about mostly. And I don't think there's many people in the chat
but maybe it'll be an Apple Golf Club.
If only. There are already accessories that work with Apple products, and maybe that's a future video. I really hate that video. Oh my gosh. I already have half of them. So we're going to talk about the latest tech headlines today, and we're going to take questions from the chat and also take questions from our Discord members. But the first headline of the day is Apple's WWDC AR/VR headset announcement is the last hope, according to rumor mill expert. What's his name? Jingmin Kuo or something? It's not Jingmin Wang, the Yankees pitcher. I forget his first name. Yeah, it's not that. I saw him pitch his first game. For persuading investors, it will be the next star product. Last hope for Apple to persuade investors, it will be the next star product. So Apple may announce an AR/VR headset in the first half of 2023, which is probably going to happen in June. The June will be in the first half of 2023. The headset could be a major source of revenue for the company. Thank you. The device is anticipated to have a standalone design with a new operating system. XOS, I've seen. The price of the AR/VR headset remains unknown, but it is expected to be expensive, and the AR/VR headset is believed to be Apple's last hope for its wearable device business. I'm very surprised by the fact that people are saying this is like the make it or break it moment for Apple's VR. I mean, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if AR and VR is still so much in its infancy, I don't know why there's this big rush. Maybe it's Apple's own fault for teasing this for years and years and years, and now that we're finally pretty close, they're seeing this as their make or break moment. But yeah, I think they could have slowed it down and not overpromised, but here we are.
But who's made a promise at Apple? Have they said we're going to launch a headset?
I don't know.
I don't think they have. And the Apple Car has been in the works for about ever. Nobody's coming out and saying, oh my gosh, this is the moment. They haven't even announced it. It's not even like they've launched a product. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't announce it at all. People love talking about these things that are going to be announced. Forget it. not the car, the headset. Go ahead, David.
Oh, the headset. Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they don't announce it either. Well, I mean, it seems like June, the WWDC is going to be the announcement. I mean, if it doesn't happen, I won't be surprised, but a lot of people will, so we'll see. Maybe part of the problem for Apple, too, is that so many leakers have come out, and there's been all these renders, and they're all over the internet now. It seems like it's closer than it might actually be from Apple's end.
Yeah, just because you see a render, especially now with the advanced software that people have to be able to use and make these renders that are beautiful and look like Apple products, doesn't mean that it's actually anywhere close to happening. Shall we take a look at the renders? First,
sure.
A render by an old friend of ours, Ian Zobo, a young man with a very interesting story who collaborated with us on a couple of renders way back in the day. And we wish him the best of luck. Now he's working for Mac Rumors as their renderist and going to Brown, I think, University. Yeah, let's give Ian a round of applause, Zach.
Yeah. Well, I saw something on Twitter recently that he posted because, his render of the Apple VR headset is kind of just the standard image that's used in every single VR headset article. And he made the point, like, what if the headset looks nothing like my render? People will be totally caught off guard. Because a lot of the time with the phones, at least there's, pretty solid rumors to base it on. In this case, I'm not sure that there really has been much in the way of leaks of the Apple headset and what the technology will actually look like.
Zach made a good point. He said that the design pulls together some elements of the Apple Watch band design and the AirPods Pro headband, AirPods Max headband design. Kind of flip the AirPods Max to their side, make it look a little bit more Apple Watchy. It looks like a Fisher-Price headset to me with a little bit more expensive parts. So what I did is I made a completely original design that I would like to debut right here on this stream right now. Is that okay, David?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right, let's see. Here's the reveal. Ooh, look at this original design by me. I think that's more stylish than Ian's design, don't you, David?
I think the the eyes are a little uneven there. It looks like the right eye is drooping a little bit lower than the left eye. You can kind of see an O in the background of the
no, that's not
headset.
an O. Nope. That's
the Apple logo on the right hand side looks like it looks like a graphic that I would have made. The Apple on the right is sticking it, flat on there when it's supposed to be curved. So not the best. And I also like how there are two Apple logos. There's the small one and the big one, and it's not subtle at all. It's almost like you're trying to cover something up.
Cover something up, me? Well, let's look at Ian's design again. Leave a comment in the chat. Whose design do you like more? The professional 3D renderist, Ian Zobo's? Let's take a look, Zach. All right. Where's the Apple logo on his design? I don't see one.
Doesn't need one.
And then my design, he's got a button though. And my design, I went with a completely buttonless design because I don't think people are going to want to walk around like this. My design is entirely buttonless, weatherproof, sleek, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, people, when they're buying VR headsets, they want it to be weatherproof. I've heard that from a lot of people.
That's what they're saying. A lot of people are saying, I'm not going to buy it unless it's weatherproof. So I wanted to share another image of this with you. Zach, let's go to my screen. I'll just pop over here to...
So that's so you based yours on an Oakley then, huh? Is that what that was?
What?
If you go back a tab.
Are you saying that this has anything to do with my design? My design is
similar.
Completely original.
Like you drew some inspiration, at least, I would say.
Inspiration? I mean, I put a lot of
effort
into my design.
In your defense, I feel like those that Oakley design is kind of not great, though. It doesn't the right eye look like droopier than the left eye? It doesn't look even to me.
Oops. That's not the right thing. How does this thing work? Yeah, I don't know how anybody could say that my design is similar to Oakley's design. Put a lot of original effort into my design.
Yeah.
And this is how much you should believe these rumors that are out there. Really? Like it's just about taking it. I mean, what Ian did is he has 3D renders of these things. You can download 3D renders of pretty much anything. And Ian, to his credit, does a lot of original design and is excellent. But anybody can download a 3D object, put it in a staging, lighting environment, render it for 12 hours because it takes a long time, and then, put it on Twitter.
I think the difference is the difference is that with the phone renders, and there's usually they have like the case leaks, and there are legitimate leaks that help inform what those renders look like. I think just as I said earlier with the VR headset, I haven't seen anything leaked, any leaked images of it that would suggest it looks anything like the renders that have been made.
I agree. I think that sometimes people base it off the patents, but just because Apple has a patent doesn't mean that the finished product is going to look anything like the patent. We see that in products all the time, and it's not like Apple is going to go out there and patent the exact design. They're going to patent things that are close enough to defend in court if they were to get sued over a particular component, but not actually the design to give away the farm, as they say.
Yes.
Shall we hop over to the Discord questions before we circle back to the chat?
Sure. I just want to point out that Tabasco Sauce said Ming Chi Kuo is the
Ming Chi Kuo. Yeah,
name we were trying to get earlier. So
thank
you,
Ching Ming
Tabasco
Wong.
Sauce.
Ming Chi Kuo. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Also, just to touch on the poll question, 31% will be watching the Masters. I think that's pretty high, relatively speaking.
Yeah, 31%.
What I do is I usually wait until Sunday at, 2 p.m. when it's finally interesting. The first 3 days, I just, I can't get into it.
The thing about the Masters is that there's a fabulous iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV app without ads. And you can just sort of flip around between the different featured groups and the different holes. And it's just something nice to have on in the background. If you want to see some featured holes, check out the Masters. Go ahead.
The other poll, which render do you like more? 92% like your render more. However, only 14 people voted. So
I've got,
I don't know.
So what is that? I have 13 fans. Is that what it means?
Yeah, I think it's like that town in New Hampshire that votes first. So their election results get reported at like 12:05 a.m. on election day because there's like 10 people in town. So for a brief moment in time, it looks like, some candidate with 5 votes has, 60% of the vote in the state. And it's just, it's like that. But anyway.
Yeah. It's also like the gum ads you see. 9 out of 10 dentists agree Trident is the best gum. So we can say 13 out of 14 iPhone users agree David is the better renderer. Take that, Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll keep.
All right, Discord questions.
Discord questions. First, from Miss DT, frequent Discord chatter. If you want to get in our Discord and ask some questions to be featured on stream, there is a link to the Discord in the description section of this video. Miss DT, Missed asks, what makes an iPhone better than others? And if so, why is that a significant difference?
Well, that is the question, isn't it? What makes an iPhone better than other phones? Better than Androids, I guess? Because they're kind of the only competitors at this point.
That's what I would, go with that.
What is easier to use?
Yeah.
That's the Jeopardy answer. I guess it's easier to use. Go ahead, David. You ran first.
For me, it's just the whole ecosystem. If you got an Apple Watch and an iPhone and a Mac, it's just so seamless. That's for me is the big thing. I just don't think there's an Android equivalent to it.
There isn't. It's clunkier. It's just not native. There are ways to do pretty much everything, but I don't want to get into which is better. Most of our people that watch our channel are iPhone users, but it's not as many as you'd think. We have hundreds of thousands of subs who are Android users, and some of our most popular videos are Android videos, and we wouldn't make them if we didn't like Android phones. So I would say that they're each better. They have their strengths and they each have their weaknesses. overall,
Yeah, I mean, at this
use
point,
an iPhone.
I'm too deep in the Apple ecosystem. I literally can't leave without breaking all of
Yeah.
my stuff.
One of the reasons people would say, especially the young people, iMessage. End of story.
Yep.
Like, end of story. Blue bubbles. Call it a day. That's it.
That's it.
90% of U.S. teens, I think, have an iPhone or want an iPhone. It was something like 92%, which bodes well for Apple in the U.S. market moving forward. Overseas, the numbers are more balanced.
Well, they don't care about those other countries. They probably do. Anyway, James 10,000, next question. I noticed in your latest video that you can clear caches from some social media apps like Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. So, I was wondering if it is possible to clear the cache on apps like Facebook and Instagram. If so, do you guys know how to clear the cache from these apps?
Sure do. Sure can't. I don't know about Instagram, to be honest.
Right.
Facebook,
Well, I was
you
looking
can.
at this. I was looking at this before the stream. The first thing to keep in mind is that the settings within apps change all the time, so it's difficult to stay on top of it. And we can't, we could tell you to go to one specific section of settings, but in a couple of weeks it might be different. So what you can do, surefire bet any app, is delete and reinstall it, which is a pain in the butt, but it does work. Facebook, there's a very convoluted way of doing it. It's like settings and privacy settings, profile settings. Then you go to your media and contacts, and then you tap browser, and then you tap clear. But the easiest way to do it would just be to go into the settings of any specific app, look for the search icon, and just type in clear or cache or data.
Right. Clear is
and
good.
You'll
Because
find
sometimes
what you're
they don't
looking
call
for.
it a cache.
Yeah. Right.
Smart. I was just going to demo it on my phone, and I'm not logged into Facebook. That's how much I use Facebook.
Yeah. You'd probably get lost. And I looked on Instagram too, couldn't find it on Instagram, so it's a bummer. Delete and reinstall the app if you're really desperate to clear a cache and you can't find how to do it. That's how. Delete and reinstall.
Yep. Cool. Next question. Jakey asks, has there ever been an iPhone option to restart rather than shut down and then start up again? Android phones have this option, so why not iOS devices? I think the answer is there is that option, right?
You can do
They
it with
added
assistive touch.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And yeah, so I mean, assistive
You
touch
want
is
to
the
walk
way
me
to
through
do
how to
it.
do that, David? So yeah, there used to not be a shutdown button in settings, and I was thinking there was a reset button in there, but there isn't in settings general. So
Right.
let's do it. Walk me through this process, and let's go to the side cam.
Let's see. Assistive touch is in accessibility, correct?
Yes. So I'm going to scroll down to accessibility and tap on that on my phone, and then
I think
we will
there's an
scroll
assistive
down.
touch button somewhere. Or is it touch? It's definitely touch.
There used to be an assistive touch button. So let's turn on
Now
assistive
there's
touch.
assistive touch.
which-
Yep.
Yep.
Turn that
I'll
switch
turn that
on.
on, we get our
There's your
little-
button.
Button. Ooh,
Yeah, you
can
just
move it
tap
anywhere
on
the
that.
screen. Okay. Device.
I can't see. Is there a
I'm gonna go with device.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go more. And then restart. Lower left-hand corner of the screen. The screen, not the stream.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to restart your phone? Heck yeah. See you later.
There you go. You can
That's
also hard reset your iPhone.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just
there's no like
quickly-
press and hold and then yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Quickly press, and let's do this, Zach, on the side cam. You can hard reset your iPhone anytime. It doesn't even have to be on. Volume up, volume down, and press and hold the side button until the screen goes black and the Apple logo, in this case, reappears on the screen. Holding. Don't give up before the miracle happens. There it goes.
But to
See ya.
Jakey's question, there's no like restart slider when you press and hold the power button or the side button. You only get the option to shut it down, which, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever, Jakey. Thanks for the stupid question.
Not,
Not my words. David said it.
yeah, I mean, that's...
Thanks for joining the channel.
It's an interesting question. I just, it's never been, top of mind for me
interesting.
having the option to
Let's
restart.
be honest here, David.
phone
It's not
quickly.
that interesting of a question. Next question. Empty SP. If you could have one of these features in the next iPhone after 15, which would you choose? All right. This could be actually a pretty good poll. Should we put this in a poll, Zach?
Yeah. We sure should.
All right, we've got 3 choices. No more camera bump. No more notch with loss of sensors. No ports whatsoever, allowing for unmatched water resistance. No more camera bump. No more notch with loss of sensors, so all the sensors are under the screen. No ports, whatever, allowing for unmatched water resistance. No ports. You have to dock elsewhere. There's no port here. Right.
I know what I'm choosing. I'm choosing no
Which
more
one?
camera bump because I hate that I can't just put the phone flat on the table and use it.
I know, it's insane. Even with the cases now, they're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger up until, I don't know. I don't know when they're going to stop.
The as far as the notch or dynamic island goes, I mean, that's never bothered me. I know some people hate that it takes up the screen, but it's never been an issue for me. And no ports means I'd have to use MagSafe for wireless charging, and I hate both of those. So,
Oh my god.
camera bump it is.
He doesn't like MagSafe for wireless charging? Why? Why not? It's great.
It's just wireless charging is slow, and that's part of the issue with the camera bump too. Is that certain wireless chargers, it's hard to put it in the right spot because the camera bump is so massive. And MagSafe, it just overrated, inefficient. I don't know.
Man. I like MagSafe personally. I think it's very easy to put my phone on my charger at night, and then I just wake up and it's charged. Charges fast enough.
You plug it in. Plug it into a fast charger.
It charges fast enough. How fast do you need your phone to charge, David? Jeez.
Well, I don't like charge. What I do is I let it drain down really low, and then I get the 30-minute charge. And that's how I've been sustaining my phone.
Okay. Well,
That's why I still have
each their own.
100% battery health.
no, it's not why that is true. No more notch with loss of sensors. So I don't really mind the notch either. The no ports thing, I don't think the water resistance on an iPhone needs to be improved because IP67 has a very specific definition. And IP67 water resistance ingress protection. The first number is dust protection, dirt protection. 6 is the most you can get for the first number. So iPhones are dust proof. The second number is the degree of water protection, which can be a number from 0 through 9. So it used to be all the phones were IP67, which is very clearly defined as underwater for 1 meter, which is around 3 feet for 30 minutes. Zach, you take that audience and wake them up. IP68, on the other hand, is not clearly defined. It's defined as anything more than IP67. So you got Samsung phones that are IP68. You could submerge them in up to 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes. So it's about 4.9 feet. iPhone 14 Pro, also IP68. You can submerge it in up to 6 meters of water, which is around 19 feet for 30 minutes. So you've got one phone that's 4.9 feet. You've got another one that's 19 feet. They're both IP68.
Yep. And I think IP69 is like protected from like power washers and stuff like that.
Power
or
washing
like really,
and steam
Yeah.
cleaning. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. High pressure, high temperature water jets. So I don't think we really need IP69. IP68 is just not clearly defined. At a certain point, maybe they'll come out with, numbers or fractions. This phone is IP 8.6. It's like warp speeds in Star Trek. They started at, warp 1, and then they realized, okay, we're only going to go up to 10 if only Apple followed that. So then in the next generation, they're going warp 9.4. Oh, it's really fast. Voyager 9.5. And in some Star Treks, they approached warp 10, which is like infinite speed. Go ahead.
The only thing I'd say about water resistance, if they could get iPhones to the point where they could be underwater cameras, I think that would be a pretty big breakthrough. And Apple is working on that. I don't know how much of that is water resistance as it is just the camera lenses themselves, but that would be really cool to see.
That will be cool. And they will do it. Will Apple be the first to do it? Maybe not. If I were Samsung, I'd be pushing that. Apple isn't always first to market with a lot of these features. I'm just waiting for 8K video. Hello, people. Let's get that on an iPhone.
Ugh. Come on.
Ugh, he says. How about 48 megapixel?
I want to be able to take 2 gigabyte per minute videos that aren't ProRes.
So yesterday, Nick and I went to Best Buy. Let's get this question off the screen. Yeah, get out of here. Oh, how did our poll do, by the way?
They agree with us. It's camera bump, clearly.
Camera bump, yeah. It is annoying. Went to Best Buy yesterday with Nick. We were looking at TVs. So Best Buy has deals online where you can check your local store to see if there are open boxes. So there's a $5,000 TV from Sony, A90J OLED. Beautiful TV. Look, really good TV. 83 inches. Open box at Best Buy for $3,200. So I said, Nick, let's go to Best Buy and look at this TV. Can always return it. It's good return policy. And we got a really helpful person who went in the back and then found the person who checked in the TV, who was able to tell us the history of the TV, which was not good. And he said, personally, I would not recommend you buy this TV. But the OLED displays are really amazing. The LG displays and the Sony OLEDs are great. Samsung just came out with OLEDs. For some reason, to me, it didn't look quite as good as the LGs and the Sonys. But they both look better than my TV, which is a great TV. At least to me. The strength of my TV is supposed to be it's brighter. Go ahead.
I haven't moved past it's bigger than 80 inches. Nobody needs a TV that big.
Wait until you see next projector. It's like 120 or something stupid.
Well, I mean, it's a projector. I think that's different, but yeah.
It's a different category? Nobody needs bigger than 80 inches, says David.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. I'm glad I didn't buy it. Okay, always
or $5,000. Give me no chance.
All right. So Colette, let's go back to the chat. Colette wishes us a good morning, and so does Always Be Kind. A good reminder for you. Joan Beach also says hello, and Josh is from Nashville, Tennessee. John Stump says, I've learned so much from your iOS things to turn off. Thank you. John, you are welcome. Michael LeLand says, hello, how are you doing? How you doing, David?
Good. Yeah. Average.
How you doing, Michael? Pop Rock says, hello, peace. And Colette is laughing. Jas Wolf says, good eye. I don't know what language that's in. I'm going to go with Dutch. Jas Wolf. True Manitz. Hi from Azerbaijan. David, can you identify that soccer player? Football player.
That soccer player?
Can you not see that on the screen? You can't see it. Well, there you go.
I can't see it.
Rick, great point here. No phones on the golf green. Get your phone. So one time I'm playing golf with my dad. I was very young. And we were playing this pitch and putt course. I was like 11 years old, which is essentially a par 3 course, but minified. So all the holes are 60 yards, 70 yards. Basically, you need 2 clubs. As a kid, it was tough. So we get to the 9th hole. There's a group in front of us. It's 3 young women, let's say. And after they sink their putt, they all sit down on the green and start adding up their scorecard. Like just flag in, rate down on the green. My dad's like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, Dad.
That's when I would have taken out the driver and, it would have taken me several shots to get it close to them. But eventually.
No, it wouldn't be wise to, on the 80-yard hole to hit your driver, David. Would not have.
Oh.
You would have taken out some cars.
Half swing.
You might have been able to maybe a nice low punch, 5-iron.
Well, I mean, I had smashed my club into the ground and the ball wouldn't go very far. So,
Yeah. I've broken a driver in my day. Dan broke a driver. Good morning from Kenora, Ontario. Another chatter. Karen Hunt Cook. Good morning. Las Vegas here. Good morning. Pop Rocks. You guys should make new Android stuff to turn off or check. We will. Don't you worry. You keep watching, we'll keep recording. Colette. Hello from Colorado. New to your channel. Hey, Colette. Thanks for checking us out.
I looked
Mach
up that
5.
person's YouTube channel trying to figure out who the soccer player was. I couldn't figure it out. So,
Okay. Well, that's good. Mach 5 asks, is anyone having battery drain issues with iOS 16.4? I remember iOS 16.4. But alas, I've moved on. iOS 16.5.
I mean,
developer beta.
I didn't have any issues with the beta.
Me neither.
That being said, there have been several issues with 16.4 that Apple is looking to put out as 16.4.1. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's having battery drain issues.
Yeah, Colette also can report she has no battery issues.
All right, good.
Yep. John Stump, good morning from Walla Walla, Washington. Sounds like Ali Oxenfree. Always be kind. Does the new update change settings on the iPhone? Some things in the settings app may have shifted, but not much. What shifted?
I feel
it
like-
doesn't actually change the settings
Yeah.
on your phone.
Right. Well, I mean, sometimes after you update, though, it asks you again, like, oh, do you want to share your analytics? Do you want to do this, that, and the other thing? And sometimes people will turn things back on. Yeah.
Let's talk about Frank, one of my favorite foods here, crab. Salutations from Maryland. I learn a lot about you guys, and at 68, go around and show off. I thank you. Thank you, Frank. I've spent a fair amount of time in the Inner Harbor in Baltimore as a tourist. It's really cool. Had some really good food. I've been to 2 Orioles games at Camden Yards. Saw Cal Ripken Jr.'s like 3 games before he broke the record.
All right. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's history right there. Longevity. It's one way to get in the books. Steve Ned says, neat, good morning, and God bless you all today. Stead Ned. Sometimes I get the name wrong. I was watching the last stream, and I kept calling someone the wrong name.
Mm-hmm.
You can always feel free to correct me if I just start going off in some weird direction.
All right. Sure.
Always Be Kind says, I haven't updated yet and suddenly my battery is draining like crazy. John Stump asks, what's a render? A render is what happens when you create an image on your computer in 3D. You have this 3D model, but computers aren't powerful enough to make it look great with all the shadows that you see and all the textures. So when you're working with a 3D model and designing it, you're working with a very simple version that doesn't really look that good. So then you have to hit go on the computer when you're ready, and then the computer does all this work, and it can take hours for a single image. And then it does all of the lighting and the 3D. So they call it 3D rendering when it's generating that image file. Yeah, you need some powerful hardware.
Can we say hi to Tony Vito? Streamlabs flagged his comment. All he said was hello from Detroit with a bunch of American flags. So I don't know if
Streamlabs shut that right down.
hates America or Detroit.
No, it's not that.
But
it's not that.
Hello, Tony.
Streamlabs automatically shuts down repeated characters. I think if it's more than 3, because Frank got away with 3 crabs. Unfortunately, Streamlabs can't tell the difference between the letter A and an emoji or the flag emoji and the zucchini emoji. So unfortunately, Tony, hello from Detroit, and I got a flag up there. But it's all right, Zach. We got
a Detroit flag? Oh, an American flag.
Oh boy. Kathy Bird says, I love it. Oliver makes the point, TikToks were a lot more innocent when they were breath fresheners.
We Tic Tacs, I believe.
I think this is the point where I showed my original design, and people thought it looked like water goggles. Or Athena said that looks like my son's motocross goggles. Anyone for skiing, says Stephen Smith. I love to ski. Went up to Telluride a couple of years ago. That was awesome. That snow is so different than up here. They call it the Eastern Blue Powder we have, which is just ice. And there's great skiing days up here. It's just less consistent. In Colorado, so up here, if you're on a blue trail, which is like intermediate, David, I'm going to force you to learn how to ski someday. Because you would love it. You don't have to, no, you would love it. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to see anybody. It's a silent sport. It's good exercise, and it's fun.
That's true for a lot of things, though.
What other sports do you have to not see anybody or talk to anybody that are also
you
like
can do
fun and
pretty much
thrilling?
anything. So yeah, it's I'm not really a thrill seeker. Yeah, I just
well, you don't have to go down the black.
I don't like the idea of me being uncoordinated going down a ice hill, crashing and breaking my leg.
So you don't start going down an icy hill. You start taking a lesson with like a professional, and then they teach you how to do it. The learning curve on skiing to be able to be like a competent skier is like so much shallower. It's so much easier to become a competent skier than it is to become a decent golfer. And you picked up golf really fast, so it's not even close. Davis' design looks a lot better. Looks like a Fitbit Apple Watch for Ian. Fitbit and Apple Watch. Burn. Axe0893 suggests Apple Ski Goggle Ultra.
Sure.
That's why I said it'd be
well,
cool.
I mean,
They're
with the
IP69.
VR headset, you probably could go skiing with that at some point. It'd be a virtual
Yeah,
reality,
that'd be good.
But you could do it.
Oh, I got a notification. Bang, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Text message off a cliff. Have to shut that down. Anti-Droply says, yo, what's up? Ambrose Joseph, a chatter from, maybe you could pronounce this. It says, good morning from Cuenca, Ecuador?
Cuenca? Cuenca? Ecuador.
Good morning to you, Ecuador, as well.
I got that part.
Athena, I didn't want to break your heart. Or my heart, I guess. Telling the truth. You guys have, there's a lot of chat here to catch up on. Shall we just keep going until we hit the end of the chat? Because we should take more breaks
why not?
and go back to the chat. Because otherwise we end up talking about something we talked about 15 minutes ago, and then I'm catching up to the chat messages. We need a different cadence here. We're working out this live stream thing. It is new to us. Oliver, I have the Dime Store iPhone, the iPhone 14 Plus. That's not the Dime Store iPhone.
The Dime Store iPhone.
It's at least a $50 store.
Is he saying that because it's such a terrible phone? Is that what that means?
I think he's saying that it's a cheaper phone than other options.
Hardly.
The Dime Store, I guess, would be 1/10 the quality of the dollar store.
Well, in that case, it works.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Paul Netchi says, I got an iPhone and Android. They have goods and bads, both of them. Thank you, Zach.
Wrong button. That was the wrong button.
Wrong button.
Wrong
Hey.
button. Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I hate Apple, but for real, the Messages app is good, says Pop Rocks. Pop Rocks is, I'm going to take a guess that you're in the 14 to 19 demographic. U.S. Teenager.
Well, they're using FR to say for real. That's a younger demographic right there. That's how you know.
Yeah. Athena says Apple or just quality. That's it. True. Better security, says Seashell. Debatable, but probably. Pop Rock says Samsung is the best. Got it right that time, Zach. Oliver Harris, I agree to Paul. Paul's talking to Liv here. Thank you, Liv, if that's your nickname. My fam is Olivia, and we call her Liv. And then he says, sorry, thought I read Olivia, but not Oliver, but the same applies. Paul. Alex the MTA, an R211 weather fan. Maybe you could explain to us, Alex, because you've been a great friend to us. What the heck does your name mean? Can you clear YouTube cache without offloading the app? Can you, David? I don't know.
I can look it up real
We're
quick
trying.
while David reads more chats.
That's a good idea. John Stepp says, my wife wants to delete her podcast on her iPhone. She has an iPhone with a podcast?
According to Business Insider, to clear the YouTube cache, you delete the YouTube app and then reinstall it from the App Store. So I'm going to guess no.
Nice. Perfect. Viazel279 says, you can clear cache on an Android by going to the app. Before you attack me, I have both phones. Before we attack you,
Okay.
we're not attacking anybody. Except for, whose question was that? Was it Ian's question? I kind of attacked him. But no, it's a good question, or a good statement. We were glad you're here. Boy. Alex, yes, Android is so much better. Pop Rocks is digging in here with his boots. Oliver says that Oliver is a more common name in the UK. Best to uninstall and then install again, says Paul Necky. He says, in the States, we say live for both. By the way, Ollie was from him. Skateboarders know this.
Duh.
Better audio. Pop Rocks and Paul are going at it. Samsung is my favorite. I love Samsung and the 5 cameras. Steve V says the dark side of the Force is the path of hate. True.
Yep.
Yes, Zach, that is a Star Wars reference. We got to get some. we got to get some Star Wars sound effects in here.
Just get
Haptic
get some
charge
prequel
port for
sound
overtime.
bites.
Yeah,
I hate sand.
I hate sand. M. Miller asks, when will you make a how-to video? Is there a way to get the steps so that I can read them? When you make a sorry, jeez. I got to take the how to read video. Here's the fix. M. Miller says, David, I'll let you answer this. When you make a how-to video, is there a way to get the steps so that I can read them?
You could click that join button below this video, become a channel member. We're making PDFs for a lot of our videos. Walkthrough guides, you can go at your own pace. There's a lot more too when you can become a channel member, but yeah, how-to guides, that's where to get them.
Yeah, exactly. And it really helps us out a lot. We don't sell it enough, and we don't talk about it enough, David, because like what they tell us in YouTube land, we talk to their consultants, is we don't. They say like talk about the membership program. Memberships are good.
I think we do plenty of that. Yeah, but okay.
We haven't mentioned it today, and we are 50 minutes into the stream, or 43.
I suppose.
I think you're supposed to mention it before 43 minutes, David.
Well, debatable.
Okay. Elizabeth says, thanks for all your knowledge. It's so helpful. Thank you for your compliment, Elizabeth.
Are you sure it's a compliment and not condescension?
Yes, I'm
It's
sure it's
so
a compliment.
helpful. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. No super chats today either. Where's our money, people? Just there you go. I don't know if that's the approved method. Give us your money.
I don't think so. Yeah.
A lot of business people will talk about that at conferences, and they'll say your philosophy behind all of your marketing messages should be you're going to give us your money. It's a little crazy. It's just not the way I think, which is why we don't talk about it all that much. And David hates talking about it. Maybe you don't hate talking about it, but we struggle to find a way to talk about the value of our memberships program, which is really actually a really cool thing. I mean, right now you get the Super Series shortcut, which I pay for, so it actually costs, and then the PDFs. I think our value prop is pretty good for $5, but not necessarily communicated as well as it could be.
Right.
We got to work on
Agreed.
that. We'll have Face ID until 21 Pro model. Oliver says, I could easily go over to Samsung. The grass is always greener on the other phone. Isn't that true? Oliver, we are glad you're here. And you know what? Everybody that's here right now, we are super glad you're here. We hope you'll share us with your friends so we can continue to grow our live audience, because live streaming is relatively new to us and it's something that we're getting better at by doing it. Samsung phones are so fast, like day one. So fast. I see an Ultra, Steve V says, I see an iPhone Ultra with IP69. Hey, it's a goal.
Expensive goal.
Oh, what you got there, David?
Boone hopped up on the
Yeah,
chair.
we have a cat cam too, but let's check out David's cat first. How's Boone doing?
He's
Did you just shoo your cat away? Let's see Boone.
He's just sticking his tail. I'm trying to get it out of my face so I don't sneeze on stream.
Okay, sorry. Jeez.
I'm gonna get
Are you gonna show
hairs
it?
all over the microphone.
Yeah, I know. They've been eating them all morning. Are you going to show your cat, David?
Oh, sorry.
Aw,
Not interested.
how cute is Boone? He's got such pretty hair. Yes. Let's go to the cat cam. I put a cat cam in the other room. Last time Trudy was just sleeping.
Cat cam's not loaded. Oh, cat cam is gone.
The cat cam is gone. I didn't plug it in. I thought we'd make it long enough, and apparently we didn't. Or maybe the cat knocked it over. Well, that's disappointing. We got a member, David. Annie A. Welcome
That's
to
nice.
David. That's awesome. No, that's really amazing.
Thanks
Annie
for joining.
A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to touch
Annie
on this
A.
comment from Mr. Ridiculous. Good evening from Bristol in the UK. I've been watching a show lately called The Outlaws, based in Bristol. So I don't know if Mr. Ridiculous is watching that or has been an extra behind the scenes, but yeah.
So Pop Rock says, the one issue I do have with Samsung is it's hard to find comfy protective cases. And Paul says, glad to be here from Fall River, Massachusetts. David, do you know where that is? Fall River?
It's eastern Massachusetts, I think. Sounds
Eastern.
familiar.
Fall River, Massachusetts.
Or northern. I don't know. My Massachusetts geography is not very good for someone who used to live there.
Fall River is near
Mike Wheeler,
to...
channel member for 22 months.
Mike,
Like a
thanks for
Super
renewing
Champ
your
monthly.
membership.
Love to
No,
support
you are.
guys. We appreciate it, Mike.
Fall River is 26 minutes from where you grew up, David, and you don't know where it is? Come on, man.
Really? Yeah, well,
Oh, wait, no, wait a minute. That's a different... Come on, Google Maps.
how far is
It's
Fall
48
River from
minutes.
us?
It's 48 minutes from where you grew up. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, too far.
No,
Too
48
far to
minutes
drive.
and 24. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't name all the towns within 48 minutes of a drive.
Yeah.
Hi guys, never had a TikTok. Thank you God, says Pebbles Bam Bam. Love your videos, Shark Boy. Got a little derailed there with the whole Massachusetts thing. Sorry. Rick Thelian says, Australian good eye.
What is it, like midnight in Australia?
Yeah, something like that. Darian Roscoe says, what's nice about the reset button is that once you use it, it stays on your front app screen and remains on there so you can access it without having to go through the entire process again. And that's true for Assistive Touch. People used to use Assistive Touch all the time because their home buttons would break. And it became the virtual home button that was a really good alternative for people who didn't want to actually buy a whole new phone. Pop Rock says, you guys help the best for devices and finding stuff to turn off. Thank you.
We should get
Paul
a
Necky
Pop
asks-
Rock sponsorship for the number of times we've mentioned Pop Rocks on this stream. Like, is
You're
that
right,
candy
dude.
company still exist?
Probably. Zek says
We
yes.
should get a sponsorship from.
Well, don't you put Pop Rocks in the soda bottle and watch the whole thing explode? Isn't that a thing?
That's Mentos.
You're telling me Pop Rocks won't do that?
The urban legend was that you couldn't drink a carbonated drink while having Pop Rocks
Right.
because it would explode your
Because it
stomach.
would blow up your stomach.
So
Yeah.
I never tried it, but
Neither did
Yeah.
I. No, I was definitely told that. That is exactly what I'm thinking of. Joseph DiBattista, a channel member, says, "Good morning with a cup of coffee. I could use another cup of coffee."
I don't think they're a channel member. I think they're a verified YouTube channel.
So that's what that means.
Yeah.
Joseph DiBattista is a verified YouTube channel, not a channel member. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for checking us out. We're big fans. Joseph. David,
have you seen
you
their,
can't
have
stop
you seen
talking
their
about
videos?
his videos, David, and I watch his videos all the time.
What are they about?
He's actually a barista. His channel, like his other title is DiBattista the Barista.
Is that why there's a coffee
Joseph-
mug next to the good morning?
DiBattista Barista. There you go.
Okay.
That's the channel. It's great.
Well,
I
you've
learn
con-
all
you've
sorts of
convinced
things
me.
about coffee. Yeah, it's almost too good to not do, Joseph. DiBattista Barista. You're welcome.
Oh, dear.
Whoa! Oh, I think we just got our biggest super chat ever.
I think so, yeah. This
Chris
is what happens.
Dixon.
You shout out Bristol, and the UK comes through.
The UK, I like the UK. They're great.
Yeah.
Chris Dixon, and thank you. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Zach has a question.
No, they do.
They have a question. Okay,
Oh, they do.
let's go find it. Chris Dixon.
Ah.
We should have a, yeah. Chris, you bought yourself an answer. Hello, I have a question. Why can you not permanently delete iOS apps? And you cannot even do it on an M1 MacBook Air. All you can do is hide them. So we're talking about the native apps.
So
Like-
I think you actually can uninstall some of the native apps.
Right. They've loosened that up over recent years, but apps like settings, and I'm not exactly sure. So files can be removed.
I mean, you can remove shortcuts and
Right.
voice. Yeah,
So
you can remove a whole bunch
you can,
of them.
well, there's a difference between removing and deleting, right?
Right. Well, you can delete a whole bunch of
So
them.
you could delete the files app. So Zach, let's go to the side cam here. Show people what we're talking about. So if I press and hold on the files app and tap remove app, I get this delete app or remove from home screen option. If I press and hold on the settings app and tap remove app, I get remove from home screen and that's it. The settings app makes sense, right? That you can't delete that because if you did, it would break your phone.
Right.
The music app.
Well, I think that's the
remove
thing
app, you
where
can actually delete that
they-
too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean there are certain apps that are just essential to your phone. App Store, settings, camera.
Sure.
Can you delete? You can't delete camera, correct?
I doubt it. You can't delete the App Store. Nope, can't
Yeah.
delete it. Probably
So I
the
think
things that are
when it comes to the
linked
apps that are
hardware.
totally essential, you can't delete them. But anything that's sort of on the periphery of essential can be removed.
and or possibly a thing that Apple could get sued for a non-compete, like Maps, or Microsoft got sued for having one browser. So Apple probably just got out ahead of that. But you can't delete Safari actually, and that's something we talk about in some of our videos. Where if I go to the settings app on my phone and look at Opera settings, for instance, I can say, let's make my default browser app Opera. Then I can come back up to the top and go down to Safari, tap on that, and I have this default browser app option, which says Opera. Makes sense, right? So tap on that, tap on Chrome, go back, still there. Default browser app Chrome. Tap on that, tap on Safari, go back, disappearing act, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's a
Sneaky
little crazy.
Apple.
So the M1 MacBook Air, I'm not sure about. I know that MacBooks, you probably could, Chris, if you wanted to. You could find a way to delete anything on your M1 MacBook Air because you can go into Terminal on your Mac and delete anything. You have to just put the sudo in front of it, which is the super user, You could become the super. You could even enable a root account, like a root access account on your Mac, which is a little more technical. But then that becomes a super user account, and then you can go into that user, which is not your regular user account, delete everything. The problem with that is you don't want to do that because if you mess something up, your computer's not going to turn back on. That's why the user account permissions exist. But just because you see administrator and that's the most, badass option you have for being a user on a Mac doesn't mean that it actually is the most powerful option. Chris, I just want to say thank you for the super chat. It makes a big difference.
Absolutely. And Justin Daltrey is also from the UK, where it is gray and rainy today.
You tell us when it isn't gray and rainy, Justin. I'm just kidding. I've never been to England. David has. I've been to Ireland.
Yep.
Caromed around Ireland for a little while. David, you went to England when? It's like 5 years ago now or something.
Before COVID.
Yeah, so, BC. So it was like 2 BC?
Yeah, BC. Yeah, so I don't know, 2019. Well, next time we'll do a full London, England stream, and we'll just talk all British stuff. And we'll bring...
British accents?
Yeah, well, no.
Hello.
We'll bring Chris back in.
Thanks for the super chat. That's terrible.
That's good.
Oh, no, really, we really appreciate it. And I promise if you give us super chats, I won't do an English accent. The AR/VR device will be a developer kit at best, and by no means Apple last chance the next consumer hit product. Yeah, I can't believe that people run with that story. Just circling back.
Mm-hmm.
Justin says, yeah, hi from a gray and rainy UK. Hi back at you, and I know we just talked about this, but from a gray and rainy New York. Mr. Ridiculous. Sort of the... Flip phones for iPhones. I don't know, man. Good luck. Only thing I see is trouble, maybe. Might be a good protect if you drop. The thing is with the flip phones now, they're putting screens on the front of the phone, like both sides. So you just drop it, break the back screen, and then you've got to replace all the screens. Or get a case.
Yeah, a flip iPhone, I just don't see that ever happening.
Yeah. Not until they invent glass that actually bends and not fake glass like Samsung has that isn't actually glass.
Right. Well, it's plastic.
Glassy plastic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
John Stump says, I'm having battery drain issues with my iWatch. We have any tips for him, David? Apple Watch battery tips?
I mean, that video is coming out pretty soon, isn't it?
It sure is.
Did it already come out? It hasn't come out yet. No,
has it come out yet?
Zach, what's the status of that video?
Which one?
Where's that video? The
Where's
Apple
the
Watch
video,
battery
Zach?
video?
Watch battery? Today's marathon.
Yeah. We recorded an Apple Watch battery video that's coming out either probably next week, early next week.
Yep. Today, Zach and I are going to go through 7 videos or 6 or something.
It's probably 6.
A little crazy. Well, I'm thinking that we can, and Mike Wheeler's having, and I just want to say hi to Mike quick. We should probably wrap up this stream. We've been going for an hour. We got and this is some good mojo. Our VPN's worth it? If so, which are the best pay type VPNs to use? And hello from the Navajo Nation, Arizona. Just want to give you a shout out. Canelo, greeting from Reynosa, Mexico. Hi to you. Alex the MTA is explaining his name to us. The R211 is the latest New York City subway train, and I like weather, but I'm possibly adding a tech thing to my username. So it's very on the nose. Just, This is who I am. These are the things I like. Get over it. I like it. It's good.
We need more people. I'm
going to call you Alex the MTA.
Transportation.
Yeah, I was on the New York City subway the other day. Yep, red line.
The 211?
I don't think so.
No.
The numbers were lower. He's talking about the actual train car model?
Okay, yeah. I don't know trains.
Athena says, don't forget to push the like button, everybody. Annie.
That's good advice. Yeah, we should have asked for that earlier too, huh?
Yeah. Chris Dixon. Never too late.
2 a.m. in Australia. Go to bed. Don't watch this. Go to bed.
Yeah, go to bed. Thanks for
Yeah, don't
watching
watch
us.
this.
That's good. I was up last night at 2 a.m., David, for the record. No hate for the Australian friends. I went to bed at like 3:30 last night.
That's late.
Sitting there watching YouTube videos like this. I was doing exactly what they're doing now in the past.
Okay. Yeah.
And Lego Man Only One, who changed his name halfway through the stream. John McClane says, "Sir, can you read my text?" From Die Hard. Mobile Thor.
Hello, John McClane.
Hi from Oslo, Norway. Rick, you're great. Lego Man went through a sort of a lot of different messages. Yeehaw, Safari, or Google depends on the ecosystem.
Safari.
Mobile Thor. So we have to, got to end the stream because I would love to. Interesting. Half man, half tech. What software are you using for this live stream? We answered that last time. We are using Streamlabs. But also, you can feel free to ask us every time.
Yeah.
Streamlabs. Maybe I didn't say it clearly enough. Streamlabs. Callum Mack, thank you very much for the compliment. You guys are a breath of fresh air. And if I look as good as you do when I'm your age, I'll be happy. You look like a literary scholar or, that's a cool.
What's the
good-looking
opposite
man.
of a breath of fresh air? Like a breath of toxic air, or
A breath of fresh air,
suffocation?
an exhale of smog. I don't know.
Yeah. Just trying to think of what the opposite of that saying would be. Because I've never heard anyone say the opposite of that.
This is what I have to deal with, people. This is David Lynch's default go-to. Let me contradict exactly like you said something nice to me. Let me think of the opposite. Well, you're exhale of smog. A cloud of toxic gloom.
I like that.
I
That's
love
perfect.
it. Yeah, it is.
That's a real high point to end the stream on right there.
I think
we'll see
it
you
is.
next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Click the join button, click the subscribe button, click the like, click all the buttons below this video. And we'll see you next Tuesday.